seen the way he carries out, the way he leads, and I know I'm very confident that I can work well with him because there's a lot of respect there. Also, I know the respect is mutual, so I won't be afraid to bring up my opinions, bring up differing views, bring up alternate suggestions, and I know that Matthew will value it as well, and any JCRC discussions, this is where we can take advantage to make sure every perspective is covered. So what I want to do as VP is to be able to cover every angle, every aspect, every perspective so that all residents feel they are represented and the best opinions of the hall is pushed forward. So yeah, finally just to wrap things up, I know some people might say, oh, why year 4 running for JCRC, why not just enjoy your final year? Because for the longest of time, my goal also was just to recover my knee properly so I can play soccer for one last time before I graduate. But then of course, when I have many people approaching me and asking me to run for JCRC, of course, it feels good knowing that people believe in me and my capabilities. And yeah, I'm never one to shy away from an opportunity to represent Hall as well. And I think like my track record shows that whatever task given to me, I will carry out well, and I'm confident that if given the chance to be the Yusof Vice President alongside Amos and Matthew, I think I can carry it out well. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Next up, we will have. Next up, we will have Qing Feng. Jing Hao, sorry. Next up, we have Jing Hao. Jing Hao will be proposing for Brianna. Green. Brian out, Brian. Sorry.
Okay, so hi fellow Yusofians. So as the whole elections process began, I honestly thought all I was going to do this year as a freshie was go for the rallies and vote for the candidates. But when Brianna asked me to be her proposer, I was shocked and obviously honoured to potentially be able to affect who we choose as the next on Gen Z. So I hope everyone will just bear with me as I share a glimpse of Brianna as a person, as a friend, and most importantly, as a leader. To be honest, I have no idea where to begin. So I guess let's just go with the most recent encounter I had with her. It happened when she was sharing with me what this whole role of content set was all about. So I noticed this post-it in her room. Then on the post-it, just imagine. First line it says JCRC question mark. Next line, this is the best part. HJS question mark. So obviously she has no idea what she's running for. First content set is HGS. So okay, I immediately burst out laughing but okay. Just kidding. Please do not misunderstand me. Please don't misunderstand me or Brianna, because this story just serves to show what a genuine and down-to-earth person Brianna actually is. It was honestly this innocent naivety and almost unjaded view that captivated many of the freshies. I believe her fresh perspective and creativity will definitely be something of value. Furthermore, for many of you who do not have the honor of staying in A block, okay, just kidding. You definitely will not have seen Brianna at the pits, especially during IHG season. It is not surprising to see the sharpest of shooters practicing under the ridiculously hot sun in the afternoon, 90 minutes each time and no less than 200 shots. Her determination and tenacity for something that she is so passionate about really left me at awe. Yet she remains humble and she always emphasizes that this was the least she could do because she believed that her whole team has worked so hard to deliver her the ball, she has to get it in. This mindset and values amaze me as it not only reflects her selflessness but drive to succeed. In such a supportive role as the Hon Gen said, this willingness to fight for the greater good is invaluable and she is absolutely in line with our 31st President's Mac beliefs, great alone, greater together. You have heard how she is as a person, a sportsman, but not many of you know her personally as a friend. So I think one of the greatest moments happened quite recently as well. And I think it was sometime in the past 2 weeks. So TLDR, I was going through some personal stuff and obviously feeling very down and stressed. But Brianna did not hesitate in offering a listening ear. Then again, looking back, she's a psych student. So for all I know, she might have been using me as a subject. So anyway, that's besides the point. This steadfastness left me speechless at how much she cares for the people around her. And I honestly think I have said enough. If not Brianna, who, then who?
Thank you, Jing Hao. Not bad. Thanks, Okay, next can we have Brianna? Brianna, please.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Brianna. And I want to clarify the HJS thing. Okay, I knew it was HGS, I knew it. It's just that I heard it from someone, serious. Then I heard it from someone, then like I started doubting myself, but I know it's HGS. Okay. So I start. Okay. I'm a year 1 studying psychology, and my name is Brianna. Yeah. Then, so I was never a counselor or prefect other than in primary school, but I always looked up to those who were and admired their ability to plan large-scale events. But they planned it at an age where I can't even decide what to eat at the canteen for lunch. So I really admire them. Yeah. So when I came to USO, all I wanted was to stay on campus near arts and just lay low till I graduate. But that all changed very quickly as I met many people who were genuine and with whom I felt very lucky and happy to be around. Example, Jing Hao. Although USO has only been my home for a year now, I feel very much attached to this hall and want to help develop it, just like those co-counselors in my schools before. So when Louis approached me and asked me to run for the role of Hon Gen Sec, I honestly panicked a bit, but also couldn't wait to contribute to the hall and learn at the same time. Actually, when Louise texted me, I told her I needed to the end of the week to decide, but actually I already made up my mind. Yeah. As I heard from Louise, the role of the Hon Gen Sec is very much a supportive one, in the sense that one has to keep the team focused on the task at hand and get things done efficiently. The Hon Gen Sec will also need to help the JCRC monitor decisions and the deadlines set for them. So personally, right, I have a habit of making sure I note down every single deadline I ever have, so I don't miss any. And if I do miss a deadline, I'll get very stressed out, but in a good way, because then I get things done even faster. Then I also think that the role of Hon Gen Sec will allow me to grow as a person, and hopefully I can enjoy myself while doing so. With that, I think I will suit the role of the Hon Gen Sec, as I am confident that I can use my sense of urgency and responsibility to support my fellow JCRC members in their duty to make the hall a better place, should I be elected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brina. Okay, so next up, right, can we have the most well-dressed proposer, Ting Fang, to give a short introduction for Raymond. Raymond.
Okay, hello guys. So I'm Ting Fang, year 3, and yeah, I'm the proposer for Raymond today. And to start off with, the first thing I'll start with is that I knew Raymond in my capacity as netball captain when he was my TM, and also when he was the publications member when I was the SMC head. So I think all of you will please bypass the photo. But anyway, I think all of you will think that it's quite like for my role as SMC head and then him as a member is quite like a far removed role. And then for the part of about TM, right, it's like not considered a very, how to say, important role in which I connected with him in terms of hall dynamics. Like it's not a very major thing as the previous proposals have been. But I just hope to kind of tell you all how he has been in his roles, even though they might be small then, but like, yeah. So I'll just talk about 2 reasons why I think Raymond is the best candidate for sports director. So firstly, he goes over and above to deliver what he believes in. And this was pretty evident to me as the captain of the netball team last year. Yeah. So like as a TM, he took care of a lot of admin details without us, like attendance and like things like the doing the bonding camps, the food, the games, venue and all these things. And I know it seems like very small things that he did, but the fact that he does his best and he settles all these small things actually show that he's capable of doing his like more even in big roles. Yeah. And then as a DM, he often quoted this to the team, and he said that the most successful sign of a leader is when the team can function without he or she there. And I thought that during the course of the netball camp was actually where this leadership of his is very evident. So although he wasn't there for the full camp because he had some personal things to do with, he made sure that there were people around, like teammates and members who could help me and Sam, my vice cap, like run the entire camp without any fuss. Yeah, and which was quite amazing considering that he took care of a lot of details that I didn't even notice as a captain. Yeah. Then secondly, I think his ability to keep calm under pressure is something that is very amazing. So particularly this year, we all know that there were some issues with the delivery of the jerseys. And as an SMC head, I thought that he remained very calm and quickly negotiated a solution to the issue, all the while trying to push for like faster delivery of the jerseys when it arrives to all the sports teams. So having been an SMC head, I fully understand how much pressure this situation would have put him under, but I didn't feel that he let it get to him, and he really just sort of made sure that all things could be done as fast as possible for the best of the whole. So yeah. So the above two attributes are just like small parts of Raymond that I thought would help him as sports director, because we can see how he tries his best for the hall, and he will always like do his best regardless of how much pressure and how much stress he's under. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ting Fang. Okay, next we will have Raymond to give his speech. Raymond, please.
Hello. Okay, first things first, disclaimer, the picture is not book one get one free. So, okay, short introduction about myself. Matt, come down. Short introduction, I'm Raymond, year 2 FPSS. So, why did I run for Sports D? I think for a few of you all that know me, I declined to run for Sports D for the past 4 weeks from the end of IHG until now. And what changed my mind? What made me decline at first? Firstly, I think Matt's shoes are too big to fill, figuratively and literally. And there's a lot of pressure to be a Sports D, especially after you retain championship and everything. And secondly, when you want JCRC, the first word that comes to mind is compliments. And personally, I got a compliments. So that was my whole mindset throughout the whole the past few weeks. And then it came to like the past few days, it struck me. I mean, all of us have our own commitments, whether internal or external. It's a matter of prioritizing the commitments. And the first thing I can assure you is, to run for this office, Sports D will be the top of my priorities, because I don't believe in giving half-ass jobs. You see from my humble list of what the things I've done so far, it's a very short list, because I always believe that you can't split yourself into a lot of things and giving your all. So you choose. For me, I choose the things I want to do and give my best in everything I do. Then the second thing, I think running for JCRC is an opportunity that comes once and never comes again. And I think that if I don't run out, maybe next year, you never know, I won't be staying more or something, and then you miss out on the chance lah. And I don't do something that I'll regret, that I'll miss out. So this year, I decided to run for Sports D. And lastly, Sports D is serving as a Sports D in JCRC is a privilege. It's a privilege to give back. It's a privilege to be able to serve the hall and the residents. So that's why I decided to run for Sports D like last Friday when the nomination window opened. So, Sports D. Now let me just address the elephant in the room. I think everyone knows that there's always a tension between winning and building an inclusive culture. So, what I hope to achieve through this term and what I think that the Sports D should do, I think firstly, to address this dilemma, firstly we have to win. We have to win. It's in our motto, freaking excellence. I mean, if you don't consider winning as a measurement of excellence, then there's something wrong. And winning is not wrong. Winning gives you a goal. Winning gives you something you can strive to, gives you something you can day by day improve yourself, so that at the end of the day, you are able to put yourself on the IHG competition venue. And those that will say that we have too overemphasized on winning, it goes to my second point. I think we have to win, but we have to win the right way. And what's the right way? It's not just the cliche sportsmanship and fucking our opponents up on the ground and everything. doing it the right way is through having an inclusive culture. I think it's very important. I said before, sports cannot define us. You can never be defined by sports. Because if you do that, you're discounting yourself from the whole experience. You're just priding yourself as a sportsman. And what Arun said, you're just priding yourself as a sports hall. It means that we're content to be a sports hall. But it's not. We ourselves have defined what sports is. We ourselves have dictated what sports is and what it makes up for your so-called identity. And through building inclusive culture, I think, yes, it may not fully give people that are not that good or lack the chance, the opportunity. But these people that are always overlooked, these people that do not get the chance to perform, these people who always suffer the first cut, we have to include them as well. And it's not just based on minutes on ISG, based on minutes on friendlies or what. It's making them feel part of the team. Honestly, I come from my whole environment is always about playing for the team badge in front, not for the number on the back. And you can see for ISG itself, even individual sports like table tennis, squash, all this, we don't play individual events, we play team events. And I think this thing has to be sustained throughout. What we can do is, off the top of my head, we can delay the cards. Based on the constraints we have with regards to jerseys, we can start training earlier. That's what we did this year on week 3. And I think a window of opportunity that we always miss is between what's it called now? Engagement camp and the start of school. I think this whole 1 month is a very good opportunity for captains to hold fun sessions so that people who are not exposed to the sports are able to come down, are able to try out. They have more leeway, they have more leverage before school really starts and school gets harsh. So, I know this will be taxing on captains. I see Natalie, I see Isaac, I see Afan, I see Wesley. But I think that even if you're forced to be a captain, even if you want to take it up, I don't think you want your team to be just a team that wins. Because a team that just wins alone with not energy, they may not come together again next year. They may not have fond memories of things. Because what we win today is of history. And what we do of this